our systems sort of set themselves apart from a lot of other 3D imagers that are out in the market. So Blackmore was formed in late 2015 as a spin-off from another company here in town called Bridger Photonics. And we spun out to primarily commercialize 3D imaging sensors for both the military as well as for the automotive industry. LiDAR systems are designed to measure range out to targets typically, but there are better ways to do LiDAR these days. One of the big advantages of our systems is to measure velocity at the same time that we measure the range to target. And from that data that we gather back, we can do all sorts of cool things like filter out moving targets from the ground. So it's very easy for us to see, say, a threat or something that's coming at one of our sensors. In the automotive space, everything is moving around you with different speeds. And so with our imaging sensors, we're able to not only pull in the 3D imaging data, but we're also able to get all the different velocities from those systems. And so we can tell sort of relative velocities of all the things that are in motion and help pinpoint where other cars are or other bicyclists or other pedestrians are out on the street. One of the major challenges with LiDAR sensors is making them very low cost. And so one of the things that we've been doing is developing the technology necessary to really shrink these sensors down and to really drive the costs way down. Our connection to Prospera goes way back. I think it started back when Bridger Photonics was formed. Since we spun out, we already had our feet and our momentum sort of established. So we had a lot of momentum when we came out the door. A strong team, strong technology, and then the backing and the support from our investors. Those are the three primary things that I would say are really have led to the success that we've had to date and the innovations that we've had to date.
Everything we sell here is biodegradable, compostable. The idea for Eco Montana was born probably seven or 8 years ago. I was just tired of seeing styrofoam and plastic containers. I moved here in 2012, got my first shipment of product from World Centric in 2013 into my garage and just started talking to restaurants. It was kind of a new thing. People weren't seeing a lot of it, so talking to restaurant owners, it wasn't the first thing on their priority list. It just wasn't even on their radar. And I think a lot of people had and still have the perception that it's a lot more expensive to do it this way. It's not. We have over 50 accounts just in this area, but several across the state also that we're shipping to. And it's nice that I have more and more people start to come to me rather than me cold calling on them. People hear about us from other restaurants, or they notice the stuff being used in other restaurants. Our customer base has diversified. We are now lots of food trucks in the area, so we've got lots of food trucks who use lots of disposables. New restaurants, and I'm so happy when the first thing they think to use is stuff like this now. So it's changed. I think the success of Eco Montana has come from an awareness in the community about plastics and styrofoams and how prevalent they are and how much of it ends up in our waste, not only in the landfills, but in our waterways. And it never goes away. Part of the support is Prospera. They're women-owned business tours I try to go to every month. I think what Prospera does is amazing.
At FLIR, we manufacture high-performance laser systems and grow single crystal materials like garnets, sapphires, perovskites, and other exotic species. So these crystals are used as the engines of laser systems, and the engines is the part of the laser that actually generates the light, the optical horsepower. All of the growth stations behind me are operating at 3,500 Fahrenheit. In the laser industry, we are known for producing some of the highest purity, highest performance crystals in the world. The specialty crystals we produce for FLIR allows them to make laser systems that are higher performance and more compact for border security and force protection. We produce specialty crystals for UV laser systems that are used to fabricate semiconductors for your computer chips. We also produce specialty crystals that have been deployed into space. So we've got crystals grown here in Bozeman that are zipping around the solar system. Several years ago, while doing research at Montana State University Spectrum Lab, we discovered that the atoms embedded in this crystal could perform advanced computing algorithms on data encoded into beams of light. That project ultimately spun off into S2 Corporation, a high-tech company here in the Gallatin Valley. There's no doubt that innovation is a team effort. Not only do you have to know the technical boundaries, the state of the art, but you have to know what the customer's problems are. And so if you can get your customer describing what their problems are, starting their sentences with "what if," then you're in the cusp of innovation.